Hey guys, welcome back to a second episode of Off the Ice. I'm one of your co-hosts, Dougie Fresh, and we have Danny P with us. Danny, how's it going, buddy?
How's it going, everybody? How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Just getting the day started, getting ready for this fantasy draft we have for flipping pucks a little bit later tonight. What about you?
Oh, it's the morning here, so I should be back in a couple of weeks, so I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, it's early. It's very early here.
Well, I'm glad to have you up. I know. What? It's like 7 a.m. What? 7, 8, 8 there?
8 in the morning.
So we'll keep today's topic a little light then. I was thinking we would discuss some of our top favorite movies and a TV show. How do you feel about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that works. Let's do it.
All right, I guess I'll go ahead and lead us off. Start a little light here. I would say rolling in at number three for me would be Robin Hood Men in Tights. Danny, have you seen that?
I have not seen it before.
Okay, have you seen Robin Hood Prince of Thieves? It was from the early '90s. Kevin Costner was Robin
Yeah,
Hood. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a Mel Brooks film, and basically it's just a comedic take on that. I think it came out a couple years later. Cary Elwes is the lead. He plays Robin Hood. If you've seen Princess Bride, he played Wesley in that. So yeah, it's a Mel Brooks
Nice.
film. So it's very slapstick comedy. Plays on TV all the time, running on Comedy Central and stuff like that. But they do cut out some of the funny parts. So fortunately for me, I have the Blu-ray. But yeah, I would go ahead and say that Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is top three for me. What about you?
Number three, I'm gonna have The Lion King. I'm a big kid at heart, right? But I feel like you can't go wrong with that movie, right? You've got great music. It's actually based on like Shakespeare, Hamlet and whatnot. It's just a great movie, fun, light, a little dark in the middle part, but Kuna Matata, right? The most best saying they come out of the '90s. Besides its morphing time, but
I,
but
I
yeah.
I
So I,
still
I
cry
definitely
tears thinking about Simba's dad's death. Just
I know, right?
every 2 months it just hits me.
Go back as an adult and watch that film, you will guarantee to cry. It's sort of funny. Like I think I was on, I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago. I went through and I was just on Disney Plus. I was like, I haven't seen Lion King in a minute. I'll chill for a little bit. Turn it on, and like 30 minutes into this, I'm like weeping like a small child. Like, you know, Uposo, no, like just yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's such a great. I think it's just a you know us '90s babies or '80s babies. We tend to love like nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
And that movie, I think, perfectly encapsulates the nostalgia of our childhood.
No,
You know,
I played the shit out of the Sega Lion King game. Just grinded
funny
it all the
story.
time. Yeah.
Funny story. Dino actually turned this on to me. There's a clip called "The Angry Gamer," and he like reviews that game. It's hilarious. If you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, it's like 20 minutes of a guy probably around our age just yelling at a video game as he tries to play it because it's so stupidly hard it doesn't even make sense. Like not made to be beat. It's I think he even considered the game broken because you couldn't get past a certain level. So,
I'm pretty
but yeah,
sure
I
playing that
consider him
game
a lot
is
to it.
what spawned me to say my first curse word. I do remember it being pretty difficult, so I'm pretty sure I might have dropped an F bomb here or there at like 7 years old because of that game.
Yeah, yeah, it was very very enraging. But so what's your number two?
All
What's your
right.
number
Well,
two
since
on the
I
the
mean my number
list?
three was obviously a comedy. Number two would have to be The Town. It's just a classic uh movie. I think it's really well done. Obviously Ben Affleck's the star, but he also directed it, which I think obviously he's from the area, so he encapsulated Boston really well. I mean he got the accent on point, which is pretty
Hmm.
nuts. But it's like he could just turn it on. But yeah, it's a great like bank robbery movie. Uh, you have John Hamm is in there, great actor. Hawkeye, as most people would
Reimer,
know
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yep, he's in there, and it's just a
great
really
actors.
well done bank robber movie. I really like the atmosphere that Ben Affleck sets. It's pretty dark, kind of like I mean, speaking back to Hero, superhero movies, but kind of like the Batman movies have been. It has a very
Yeah.
dark atmosphere to it, and it's really, really, really rewatchable. It also helps that I have a celeb crush on Rebecca Hall, so her being the lead character does not hurt. That's for sure. So what about you, Danny? What's number two for you?
Number two for me is actually Dune. It came out in the 80s, and I didn't see it until I was probably, God, 24, 25. Um, being like, so like 5 or 6 years ago at this point, right? So, but it's such a great 80s flick, you know. It's got that real big, like, weird vibe to it, you know, very culty in that way. Um, you know, there's Patrick Stewart's in it. Sting is in it as well. It's just a great weird movie. You know,
Wait, did you say Sting?
essentially Sting is in it, yeah,
I thought he was
and
wrestling at
he
the WCW. I'm just kidding. I know you're referring to Fields of Gold, but
oh God help me. uh, yeah, no, it is a great movie though. Definitely would recommend it. If you're any type of like sci-fi geeky nerd type, it'll be completely up your alley. Um, but yeah, it's they're with them remaking. They're actually getting ready to remake it. A new version comes out in about 2 weeks now. Super excited for it. It's got the remake is going to have uh, you know guy Poe Dameron from Star Wars. It's going to have Momoa is going to be in it as well. Just a lot of like Brolin as well. Thanos is going to be in it. You know, a lot of good big name actors are in it, and Zendaya is also going to be in it as well. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm hoping that it lives up to the expectation. I've already heard that it's been split into two movies, so they could sort of kind of do justice to the book, which is very exciting as well. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this to the remake and next to the original. It's just a complete classic.
I I mean, yeah. Before you brought it up, I had seen a trailer for the remake, and I didn't know it was a remake at the time. Then and it might have been even you that I was speaking to over text. You had sold the original like so well. Yeah, yeah, they're making a remake, and I had no idea. And granted, I am from that time period. I've never seen it. I am a sci-fi fan a little bit, so I definitely might have to check that out. At least the remake. But yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds like the one in the 80s had a great cast too. I made the joke about Sting, but Sting's he's a real hero of mine. The music he makes, I really don't listen to it. But he's definitely a hero of mine. Now, which because we were talking about movies and you mentioned Sting, I had to. That was a. Have you seen Zoolander?
yes, I have.
Yeah, that was a
What a
Zoolander reference. Owen Wilson's character Hansel. They ask him who a hero is in one of the montages. He's like Sting. Sting's a real hero, and they actually got Sting in Zoolander too because of that. But sorry, I wanted
oh
to drop
really?
that. Yeah, I had to. I had to make the reference. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, so I guess I'll finish off with my number one. There's no shocker here to you. And honestly, if the people who are watching know me, it's probably not a shock to them either. But you got the roll eyes. My favorite movie is, and definitely top one would be 27 Dresses. Now, obviously, I'm a sucker for rom coms. I've had arguments about this. I'm not really a huge fan of like the whole romantic aspect of it, but as far as like comedic aspects of the films go, I feel like they're a little bit more true to life. Obviously, it's played up a little bit, but you look at movies like Pineapple Express and stuff like that, which are comedic movies. They're not as realistic,
Hmm.
comedically. So rom coms, I feel like have the realism down a little bit. Maybe not the love story aspect of it, but the comedy is. And so 27 Dresses, the first time I saw it, it kind of stuck out to me. James
Hmm.
Marsden, great leading man. Um, he's not your like Ryan Gosling looks. I say that as he was a male model when he was younger, but like I feel like he's a more relatable leading man, and I think that was why I was a little bit
Oh, is
drawn
he?
into it. It's also set in New York before before New York went to shit, which is saying a lot. But so the scenery is really appealing to me too in that movie, and it's funny. When I was up in New York to see the Capitals play the Rangers a couple years ago in the playoffs, I made sure to check out some of the spots. that the movie was
You know
filmed.
what?
And
This is
and
such a
there's a
Doug
hundred
thing.
percent chance I texted it to a couple people. So, oh look, I'm
Oh
here
my
where the
god.
27 dresses was, the boathouse and all that. Yeah, so it's been a favorite of mine for a while. I mean, I could quote that movie backhand, forehand. I own it. I own it on Blu-ray and DVD, and I might have a digital copy that I paid for as well. So,
So, do you remember what we did? So, the year we were living together, that for the Olympics, that year, you remember that year, yeah? For your
yeah,
birthday, I remember being like, "So, Doug, what do you want to do?" And you said you wanted to watch 27 Dresses. So, we literally, for your birthday, I guess the only reason I actually sat down and watched that is because that's what you wanted to do. But yeah, I've
I
seen
mean,
that movie
I
one
know it was
time.
my birthday, but I mean, that was my gift to you on that day, was allowing you to watch that movie with me.
Yes, and pretty sure Tinder got the good use during that movie. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Yes, great movie. Swipe, 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 swipe. Hey,
Well, at least you gave it a shot. But yeah, so 27 Dresses is definitely my top there, and I could go on and on about it and quote it, you know, the
yeah,
whole movie. But yeah, what about you?
Pacific Rim. It's a good old monsters versus robots movie. Um, the music actually is what sort of kind of sold me on the movie. If you ever get a chance, go through and go on Spotify and just type in Pacific Rim. The first one, obviously, not the second one was complete garbage, but the first one, the music behind it really just made the movie. It's one of those situations where, like, can you imagine Star Wars without, that the opening song, or Leia's tune, or and all those different aspects that make Star Wars so great. It's very similar with Pacific Rim. It Music can elevate a movie, and that's essentially what it does. On When you just look at the movie by itself, it's monsters fighting robots. There's a little bit of a story to it, but main story, monsters, robots destroy each other, right? But the music behind it makes it so much more of a personal story thing than just people fighting. Um, and with that, the acting's great. It's got what's his name?
Is that Charlie
Iris
Hunnam?
Oberys. Yeah, Hunnam is in there as one of them. And what's his face? The guy who played Heimdall in Thor. It's so
Idris
funny that we
Elba.
keep on. Yes, that guy. It's so funny that we use Marvel characters.
That's yeah,
As
yeah, I know.
like your boy Morrison being fucking what's it called? Oh man,
Cyclops.
not Cyclops. Yeah, that guy.
Rebecca Hall was also in Iron Man 3,
Yeah, that's true.
looking
That's
hot as
true.
ever.
But yeah, she actually, that one. Yeah, she briefly propped up on my radar, and then Thor 2 came out, and I went right back to Natalie Portman. So hey, Natalie Portman is super smart. She's got a PhD as well, so she's really smart, and she's absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, celery crushes will be done on another day. But yeah, it's really good. It has a great cast to it too. Um, Wrestler from The Blacklist is also in there briefly in the beginning of the movie. Um, but yeah, it's a great movie. It doesn't get the love it deserves, because it's sort of kind of cultish as well. It's not, people know about it, but unless you actually sit down and really watch it, 'cause the first time you watch it, all you see is monsters fighting robots. But it's not until you watch it a second or third time that you sort of kind of you see more of the human aspect of the story. That's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, going from there, let's hit a TV show each that we also enjoy. What do you got?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like you know which one I'm going to say. So I'm a huge fan of Supernatural, but for this, I guess New Girl. New Girl would be probably my one of my favorite shows. Extremely rewatchable, which is what I love about it. Even though if you've heard the jokes, you've seen the episode, it still gets you laughing every single time. Unfortunately, it came to an end a couple of years ago. Me being a huge fan, I refuse to watch the final season because I do not want to believe it's over. I would like to live in that world for the rest of my life in the loft. But yeah, so no,
And
New Girl is such a classic. My sister and I believe you as well also say I remind you guys of Schmidt a little bit.
you
I
are
like to think
Schmidt.
it's because I'm in shape, but I know it's really because I'm a douchebag.
A little bit of both, maybe. Yeah, is it's one of my favorites as well. I absolutely love it. I do think that you were very much Schmidt to a T, um, which I think is why like you're Schmidt and I'm a perfect blend of Nick and Winston to
No, I can
where
see it.
like there's some serious aspects to me, but I'm also nowhere near having my life together. So, hint us being in our 30s trying to do a podcast like this and a blog
Join
like
the
this, you know.
club. Yeah, club of two.
But but no, like it's I don't know, it is so funny. It really is. I think Schmidt is hands down the funniest character on that show. Jess probably had to be a close second with just how are outlandishly funny they are at certain times. Though I will say a couple times I've seen things on that show. I'm like, oh, I don't know if they could have got away with saying that nowadays without being canceled to some extent. You know, like
That's
it's
that's
but
true.
it is
Yeah.
it is super funny though. And it's actually really funny. It's Schmidt's character is with one delivering the line that you're like, oh, don't know how well that would go over now, but it really is. It's a fantastic show. My favorite is Parks and Rec.
Okay.
It's you got Chris Pratt in there who hands down steals that show. Reading up about it, he was supposed to be just a minor character for like a season or two, and they loved him so much they made him a regular on the show. Uh, you got April Ludgate, who's just, the perfect, I want to say the perfect woman, almost the perfect woman, right? The mixture of like scary and like sexy all at the same time. Ron Offerman being the strong man type, uh, and then I really actually a favorite character of mine is Larry Jerry Gary. Um, he is very, kind-hearted, just goes with the flow, just that standard good, employee. But he's super. His lines, whenever he does get like a little jab at someone, it's always super hilarious. Uh, but yeah, both of those shows, both New Girl and Parks and Rec, you introduced me to. So
I want to say they ran at the same time too. Like, originally, they
they
were
did.
on TV around the same time, and yeah, going back to what you said about Chris Pratt, if you watched like the first season of Parks and Rec, you kind of it does get the feeling that he's only meant to be a side character. And then
Hmm.
as the season progresses, you could tell they kind of lean into his comedic timing and stuff like that. And because
Yeah.
he definitely makes the show. He plays dumb well, I think, which is such a far cry from like where he's at now in the whole Marvel universe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Star Lord, but and I can't say enough great things about Aubrey Plaza, playing April. I think she does a great job. It's unfortunate for her because I think at first she kind of suffered, her career suffered because she was kind of typecast in that role because she was so perfect
Hmm.
for it. Um,
Yeah.
Little funny story. I was listening to an interview with her. It probably came out a year or two ago, so the series has already ended. And she said that the role wasn't originally made for her. She had gone into audition for something else, and they liked her audition so much they created the role for her. And she was saying like,
Oh,
and
nice.
she said in the pilot, her character's name wasn't in the very first episode. Her character's name wasn't April. It was Aubrey because they had to write the thing. And she said after it got picked up from the pilot, that's when they changed the character's name to April in the thing. And
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
so yeah,
Yeah,
and Nick
she's great.
Offerman playing Ron, kind of like you said, almost perfect. Every time I'm done binging that, I walk away feeling 10% manlier. I think my testosterone increases a little bit. But yeah, I mean, every single actor in there does a perfect job with their role. That was another series where it was just sad to see end. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
I think it's a favorite. I feel like it's hard to hate that show.
Yeah. What's sort of kind of funny, and I don't really tell people this very often. Like with my anxiety and whatnot, Parks and Rec became the show that I would watch whenever it would spike or get high, or if I was having like an anxiety attack. It would literally, I would turn that on because it calms me down. Because each character is so lovable, in their own way. From Aziz Ansari being on there as well to, Donna to all of them. It's just there's so much fluid. It's just so fluent with one another. You know what I mean? It's so kind of like with like New Girl when you sometimes you find these shows that are they're so fluent with one another that like it's so easy to love all the characters. You know what I mean? And okay, that's how it sort of kind of felt with Parks and Rec because like each you also see each separate like relationship blossom. right? You sort of kind of see how Aziz and Ron get along. You can sort of kind of see how each of these different characters get along with one another, and it's just it's amazing, and it's definitely I think that might have been like the golden age of TV as far as
Oh,
like
100%. Yeah.
and not like from like these the 70s, 80s, 90s, but like in our generation, right? In the last like 25 years, I think New Girl and Parks and Rec are definitely like creme de la creme as far as like good actual TV.
And I mean, not to like kind of steer the conversation a different way, but it was the perfect timing because that was when people were still watching TV. I mean, you think it
Yeah.
now, all these shows are streaming, so you could sit there and you could binge your favorite show, all 10 episodes in one day if you wanted. I mean, this was just
Hmm.
you had to be home on a Thursday night. I believe they both of them aired on Thursday. If you didn't record it, you were gonna have to watch it online afterwards. But it was one of those things where you were anticipated to see what happened next, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
I think there's a little beauty in that where you're resonating. Hey, I wonder what happens to Leslie Knope. I wonder if they get the park built in that first season.
Yeah.
I wonder if New Girl, if Cece and Schmidt end up together. Just you were actually left with that
Hmm.
cliffhanger, which I think is missing from these streaming shows now.
I completely agree. I really do think that it's sort of it's so weird how things have changed, right? Because like we got so used to now at this point in time, I know like there's like 7 or 8 episodes with Parks and Rec or mostly I could just rewatch New Girl right on through. But like with Parks and Rec, there's like 7 or 8 episodes I know are just absolutely funny.
Yeah.
Or like a perfect example is I love seeing the Andy April marriage episode. I think it's a perfect mixture of like cute at the end, but like a lot of funny leading up to it.
And there's 1,000% chance you're gonna get married in a Hurricanes jersey.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
I
like
know
he
there
got married
is.
in the,
Yeah.
because didn't he get married in a Colts jersey?
Yeah, he did. He did. No, that's what's so funny. And if my wife doesn't accept it, damn it, she ain't the one then. But yeah, no, it's I do think that it really is perfect. Those shows are perfect. But um, but yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think this was a good little discussion here. Kind of sucks ass to end, but we do have this fantasy draft that we kind of mentioned coming up here. You nervous for that?
yeah, no, not at all. It's me. I mean, I'm very confident in my hockey abilities. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Also, comment. What do you want to see us talk about? What do you want to see us do? Um, we've got a lot of topics we're going to discuss over the next couple forevers. But yeah, just let us know what you think. And anyway, this is Danny P and Dougie Fresh signing off. Have a good one.
Have a good week.